Okay, we're live. What's up, everybody? My name is Charlie Bathgate. I'm the CEO of Sang Lucci and Wall Street Jesus, and I'm here with another episode of our Flow Trader series, which is the series that we are running where we're just bringing out a number of flow traders, people who specialize in trading flow, trading unusual options activity, and talking about their process, talking about how they do it, talking about how they've avoided, the common pitfalls that often snag people who are trying to trade with flow. So if it's your first time joining us to watch this series, definitely recommend you check out the other interviews on our YouTube channel and go deeper into it because there's a lot to learn from these guys. So I'm joined today by Arsen. Arsen, say hello.
Hi. Hello, guys.
So Arsen is we're gonna go deeper into his background with us and his experience and everything. But he's been with us in our room. Let me see. I got my notes right here for like 11 years, which is awesome. When I reached out to him to see if he might be willing to do an interview because I was talking to the team about people who would be really good for us to talk to, and they were like, you got to talk to Arsen. So I reached out to him and he sent me a screenshot of an email that I had sent him in 2013, which is insane, blast from the past, bringing me back to the very early days of when we started all this. So yeah, Arsen, thanks for being such a part of our community for as long as you have and sticking with us, and I'm excited to go deep into what you've learned along the way, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And before we dive in, I just want to give a quick plug to the Complete Flow Trader, which is the course that we offer with Wall Street Jesus, where he teaches you everything you need to know about how to trade flow. You may have heard about flow. You may be trying to trade based on unusual options activity these days, but the odds are that you're probably doing it wrong. You're probably looking at a lot of the wrong orders and making decisions based on bad information. So that's a big part of what the Complete Flow Trader is all about and what it will help you address. The new course goes live on July 1st. That's when live classes with Wall Street Jesus will start, and you can save 20% off on the course until the start date, July 1st, by using coupon code NOFLOW2024. That's KNO 2020 flow 2024 at checkout over at wallstreetjesus.com. All right, so with that out of the way, Arsen, let's just get started and just talk a little bit about your journey in trading. So you came into our room in 2013. Had you been trading for a bit before then, or were you just kind of starting out?
I started about 2011.
2011.
Trading,
Okay.
trading stocks mostly.
Okay. Gotcha.
Not having too much capital. That's what I drifted into options, and that's when I ran into you guys and Lucci.
Okay.
So that's how I needed more leverage to make more money. So it was not enough.
Okay.
With trading stocks. So that's how I started.
Got you. And you're in Chicago, so there's got to be a lot of options just in the air there,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And I worked as a network engineer for a few financial firms.
Okay.
So that's when I got my interest.
Got you.
In the field of trading. So.
Got you. Are you trading full time now, or do you also work? Do you still work
I work full
have other
time.
income?
Yeah.
Okay.
I work full time, and I trade part time, full time, depending on the flow. So I wake up, I look at the flow, see how the market is, look at the sentiments that Jesus posts, and I go from there. So.
Okay. Got you. So how would you describe your style these days? Like, how do you approach the markets? What's your style?
So one of the things I learned was to be patient. When I was single and young, I would take more chance, more risk. I would make a lot of money, but I'd lose a lot of money. So at this point in my life, as an experienced trader, I would just wait for the right opportunities. So that's one thing I rely on Jesus and the people in the room and the sentiment charts and everything for me to go in and make a play.
Yeah,
that's one of the biggest skills over the years that I learned.
How do you feel like you learned that? How did that come about? Because I feel like every trader wants to learn patience. So how do you do it? Teach us.
Blowing up accounts.
just mistakes, right?
Blown up accounts. That's the best way to learn. Everybody could tell you don't do this, but unless you go in and lose money, which it hurts, There's a lot. Then
Yeah.
you'll leave a scar in you, and you won't do that again.
Yeah.
But that's unfortunately, in this game, that's the best way to learn it. So
Yeah.
it's nice to learn from other people's mistakes. A lot of guys in the room come in and they post or they give you great advice, but still at the end of the day, it's you taking the wheel, you driving the car. So
Yeah.
unless you crash the car and you see how much damage you've done to it, it's hard to.
Yeah. Got you. Are you I mean, are you scalping most of the time? Are you swing trading? What's your, you know,
So
what's your time horizon?
early days, I was swing trading. I actually
Hmm.
I had a very good couple of years from 2016. Actually, I quit my job in 2016 just to go full time trading.
Okay.
I got tired of the job. So from 2016 to 2019, I was doing very well. Then I got caught at the COVID.
Mm.
2020, I got caught bad. That was a big, big, big hit for me at the time. So,
Yeah.
but after that, I just like I said, I look at the sentiments, I look at the charts, I look at everything before just jumping in and making a trade. I don't go in and just make a trade. I take a step back and wait, let the market come to me instead of before I was more eager to take chances and just go in and try to lose a couple thousand, make a couple thousand. It was. I used to trade earnings too, so that's one thing I took out of my equation. That's
No
not
more
a
no more earnings.
no more earnings. It
No
doesn't
more
it doesn't make sense. It's a 50-50. It's a 50-50 bet and the IV, so juiced up. It doesn't make sense. So it's take that
Right.
out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that Jay talks about is flow, the difference in flow going into earnings versus flow outside of earnings, and how to read that, and how to factor that in your decision making for sure. Do you focus mostly in a couple specific names? Do you have your kind of small handful of names that you're specialist in, or you're really just kind of watching flow and whatever's active you go for?
Uh, Flow, but the big seven, the tech. So
Yeah.
a good example would be like last year around January, Jesus was he was just hammering it out every day. He's like, hey man, nobody's in these tech names, nobody's in Google, nobody's in Amazon, nobody's in these things. Just getting. So for me, there was like a queue. So I just went, I bought some leaps on Amazon, Google, and I just
Yeah.
sell them. So that was a very good year for me.
Yeah. Okay. So
No,
some
no need, yeah,
longer
long term.
horizon trades. Yeah.
So depending on the environment, depending on where the sentiment, the charts are, so sometimes there's nothing there. There's flow in there, but the charts don't line up. The sentiment doesn't line up, so you have to look somewhere else. But
Yeah.
flow for me is the biggest indicator, and what Jesus does for us on a daily basis is gold.
Yeah.
So that's like my compass, basically.
Yeah. I mean, one of the questions that I'm asking people in this series is like, what would it be like to trade for you if you couldn't look at flow? Like, what would
I
you
would be
do?
lost. I'd be like in a ship in the ocean with no compass. I'm like, I don't know where to go.
Okay. So you feel like
So
that flow is like it is your
flow
directional.
is the flow is like the key. Flow is like that's like your edge right there. You
Yeah.
can look at charts, you can look at everything, but if you don't have flow, then how do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know? How you gonna look at like thousands of stocks and try to make a decision? And clean
Yeah.
flow too. There's a lot of flow out there. But that's what Jesus does good. He goes over the flow and comments about it. So that helps out big time. And you have
Yeah.
Ranchero and Lucci in the room, kind of like giving you an overall bigger picture. So it makes it easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it hard for you? I mean, one of the things that we talk about is that there's so much flow out there. There's so many different types of orders. Now there's so many flow services that are just like fire hoses of information. I mean, was it hard for you to learn what mattered, what didn't, to figure out for your strategy, what kind of flow mattered for you and what to ignore?
Well, that's another thing what Jesus does. He does a good job at filtering everything out for you,
Hmm.
so you don't have to. That's so I think people in the room should pay like $2,000 for the service you guys offer versus 225 a month. Because he's like a firewall. He's taking all the bad orders, oral blocks, or the like earning flow and just throwing it outside the window, and just giving you like what he thinks is the best possible winning hand.
Right.
So
Right.
that's how he helps me out. But
Yeah.
overall, you learn from mistakes. I've taken a lot of orders. I've seen a lot of big orders, 10 million, 20 million, and all stuff. Uh, some of them are replacements. I mean, in early days, I didn't know what a replacement was. Replacement, they were selling stock on the buying option just to get a little bit of the exposure. I didn't know this. I would follow it. But as you learn from experience, over the years, you just take a step back and you're like, oh, wait a second. I just have to trade the best possible scenario for me to have a chance. I don't have to go and trade every day. I don't have to do all this. I could just make a good trade in the morning. I would just go enjoy the day, like Lucci, play tennis at the beach. That's life.
Right. Right.
But you learn this
Right.
over the experience. I think in the
Yeah.
beginning you're so eager to make money that you forget that you could lose money at the same time. It's like a double-edged sword.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, Jay is obviously doing a ton of, like you said, he's a filter. He curates so much of the flow, and he blocks out a lot of the noise. But there's still, every member still has to find the type of flow that's important to them, right? I mean, that because they're not, just because Jay's talking about an order doesn't mean that everybody's like pulling the trigger on it, right? I mean, have you found your sweet spot for types of flow that you really are drawn to?
Correct. Yeah. So this is like your intuition over time with experience.
Hmm. Yeah.
So personally, I'm a like positive person. I'm an optimist. So I don't like to short. Some people like Lucci likes to short because you can make big money on the short side.
Right.
But I'm too much of an optimist. I want things to go up. So based on my overall experience trading on daily basis for the 10 years, I had my intuition and looking at the charts, looking at the flow, I could tell, hey, this is a good spot. This is not. But it's like playing soccer, right? You play soccer over the years, you build your muscle memory, and once you build a muscle memory, it's like a second hand. You kick the ball the right way.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar with trading. If you do on a daily basis, you kind of feel the chart, you feel the market, because markets are emotions, right? People's emotions. Fear, greed. So you have to feel it. You have to feel what the stock is. You have to feel. I mean, the news. There's a lot of things out there. A lot of pieces that you guys bring together in one spot.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. I
kind
mean,
of like it's gut feeling in the end. So
yeah, I mean, that's something Lucci talks about a lot is he can like feel in his gut the emotions that are moving through the market. I mean, do you feel like when you're watching flow, you can see like, okay, this is greed here, there's fear here. You can
yeah,
kind of see those emotions.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
I lost
Yeah.
a lot of money, so I so I learned a lot the hard way.
Yeah. 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 I mean, you've been doing it for let's see, you said you started in 2011, so coming up on 13 years now. That's a damn good
Yeah,
career. That's a long time, man.
it's been
Congrats.
ups and downs, but it's been good. I
Yeah.
think it's one of the best skills to have in life. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's a lot of turnaround, but it's one of the best skills.
Yeah.
It's not only about trading; it's from you as a person, building yourself and getting to know yourself as a person.
Yeah, you said
So
that you were talking a little bit about that before we started. You were like, this being a part of this community and trading in general for you is not just about making money; it's about personal development and growth. I mean, how does that?
that's
How,
that's
yeah.
that's a that's a big thing because you have a lot of people with different life experiences coming in the room and sharing their thoughts, sharing their ideas. You learn from these guys.
Hmm.
Uh, like Ranchero. Ranchero was it 2001? I think he lost a couple $1 million, and him
Hmm.
coming back
September 11th. Yeah.
from zero and making it getting to this point he is. It's like inspiring. It's an inspiration. And I blew accounts too. By the end of the day, I forgot about it. I cried about it for a month. I forgot about it. I just jumped back in trading and I made it back. But hearing these
Yeah.
stories from other people, it's like you believe in yourself. It's like you could do it over again. It's not like it's not the end of the world. Like Jesus said, it's just money. At the end of the day, it's just paper.
Yeah.
If you stick long enough, like with anything in life, right? It was like soccer. I like soccer, so that's for me it's a big thing. Like if you stick around playing soccer, eventually you'll be good at it, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with this. If you stick around, you get good at, especially with a lot of great, people in the room that have years of experience.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to keep your seat at the table, right? I mean, that's what everybody always says. You got
You
to keep your seat at the table. Yeah,
and you, yeah, you can't have a losing day or losing year. Just push you away. You still you gotta be there. You just gotta push yourself. And like
yeah,
Lucha said, he says it all the time. It's the gut feeling. You'll get it. Just be there. Like you said, keep yourself at the table. You'll
yeah,
you'll get lucky. I got lucky a few times. So that made up for all the losses. So
yeah, yeah. If you stick around, then Chris Katie always says, there's days where they hand out $1,000 bills, right? And it's like you got to be there for those days when they make it easy, and then you got to figure out ways,
you gotta
ways to
yep, you gotta
grind.
wait for those days. Wait for those days.
Yeah,
Patience.
yeah,
I think patience is number one.
yeah,
You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to trade every day. Just be patient. Just wait for right
yeah.
opportunities. That's it. Ranchero does a good job. Luigi does a good job.
Yeah. Was there a turning point that you remember when that patience sort of locked in for you, like a certain span in your career where you're like, you know what? All right, now I actually feel patient. I'm not trying to be patient. I actually am patient.
So yeah, like I said, so starting from 2016 to 2020, I was very cocky. Like I said, buy leaps, make a lot of money. 2020, COVID, I dropped about 400,000 in a month.
Mm. Oh, it's tough.
So there was I was up a lot for the year, and I was up for the first 2 months. I was up a lot. I was up about 600, and I dropped 400, and I was like, wait a second, it's just things don't go up forever, So I need a different approach over here. So at that
Yeah.
point, I took a step back, and I remember to this day, Spy went to like 20, 20, what is it, 24, was it 2390 or 22, something like 2200.
Hmm.
So that was like the lows, and that's what I did. I just took all the money. I sold everything, all the losses. I just took the money and just bought leaps, and I just said, I'm like, you know what? I was like, my mind completely was blown out. I'm like, how is it possible in 1 month this could happen?
Yeah.
I didn't play the downside at all. I just kept that ahead. So from then on, there was like a wake up call for me. I'm like, wait a second. Like, you gotta be more picky. You gotta be more look at the setups better. You can't just go in and just shoot.
Yeah.
It's not a winning formula. So
Yeah.
that was like the wake up call for me.
Got you. And you feel like that patience has stayed around since then?
Oh yeah, yeah. Once you lose that kind of money, it's like a big scar that you'll never forget. Like your first
Yeah.
girlfriend. Once she's gone, you'll never.
Yeah. Yep. I think everybody's been there. Um, yeah. I mean, I got to ask. So, like, there's a lot of communities out there. There's a lot of places where you could be spending your time. And why us? Why spend so much time, in the steam room? Why hang out with this degenerate crew of scallywags?
Well, this digital crew is like my family, man. It's been my family for almost 10 years right now. So
Yeah.
this is part of like you said, it's a community that you learn. I learned I'm a much better person right now than I was 10 years ago. Just being around you guys
Wow.
and learning from you guys. It's to me, it's been the most valuable. I don't think I could put a price on it. It's been a more valuable lesson in my life.
Wow. That's
And the
awesome.
one thing, like Luch, specifically Luch, one thing that I think that he draws people around him because he's genuine, he's authentic. He doesn't bullshit. He's like, hey man, I lost a meal, I made a meal. This
Yep.
is who I am. That's what I did.
Yep.
I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm not trying to sell your service. If you don't like it, there's plenty of other people out there. If you like it, stay. It's up to you. Nobody's. But him being authentic and being genuine, it's what pulled me in the beginning.
Got you.
And that's what made me stay. And same thing with Jesus. Jesus is very genuine, an honest guy. So I I'm from that area of Europe where he is, so we kind of like relate on some of the
Yeah.
jokes and the way he thinks. So it's kind of
Yep.
like it kind of helps too.
Yep. Yep. For sure. I mean, it's cool to hear you say that after, running the business for, as long as we have. It's sometimes, you can lose sight of, it's easy in trading to make it all about money, right? So it's pretty cool to hear you talk about the impact that it's had on you.
Money,
Really glad to hear that.
money is part of life. Money is a vehicle to get you through life, but money doesn't make you happy. Money doesn't bring joy. Money is not life.
Yeah,
You just need it to pay
for sure.
some bills, and that's you could put like 20% of it. It's money. Then you need 80%. It's your friends, your community, your family. Like life, enjoying and traveling and experience different cultures and everything. But
Yeah,
people forget about that part, because maybe they didn't have money, or maybe came from like poor family, or different circumstances, and they think money
yeah,
is going to solve all the problems. But money won't solve all the problems. Money will create more problems. That's one thing people don't realize. So money, it's an attachment, but it's not. It's like a ceiling, right? You want to make this kind of money, and then you get to this point where you make, like, say, 7 figures, 8 figures, and you're like, oh wow, what is this? I thought I was going to be happy. I got to this point, and you're like, wait a
yep,
second, there's more to life. So you need it, but don't let it run your life.
yeah.
Don't chase
Do
money,
you feel like that?
even though.
And do you feel like that perspective has helped you in your trading? Just not being so
Oh,
intense
100%,
about it?
100%,
Yeah,
100%. That's why I'm more patient. I'm more relaxed. I made some money. I put some on the side, so there's for rainy days. And now I enjoy I enjoy the journey. I
yeah,
enjoy waking up and talking to the guy. Listen to the guys in the morning. I'll make some money. I'll do some work. I'll spend time with my son. I'll go do something else that I enjoy. It's not like that's my main, which it was about 10 years ago. I just wanted to make some money.
yeah,
Coming from a poor background, that was kind of the goal.
yeah,
But once you get there, and you're like, all right,
yeah. And so now, yeah, I mean, you said you enjoy the journey. So that your trading day, you wake up, you said you check the flow, you check
every
sweepers,
day
and
I
then
check
you're
market
just like, all right,
updates. I check market updates. I check where we at. I listen to Ranchero, listen to Lucci. If I see anything I like, okay. If I don't, I'm just gonna go and enjoy my day.
yeah,
I'll still keep the live stream on the background just to hear to listen, in case something I miss. But I'm focused
yeah,
on more important things, family. That's number
yeah.
one.
It's awesome, man. That's what we would hope for. Are you? I mean, obviously, flow, you have said, is just a huge part of what tells you directionally what you feel like is going on, whether there's action to trade or not. I mean, are you also layering on technical analysis at all, like any other kind of tools, or you pretty much just like flow?
Ranchero does a good job at it, so I kind of like steal his ideas
Yeah,
because I'm
that's what he's
busy
there
with
for.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes, because I'm busy with family stuff.
yeah,
So, but he does a very good job. He's a very good guy, and he's very knowledgeable. So
yeah,
I still and a lot of guys in the room that post ideas too, that they've been with us for a while. I steal their ideas as well, so they cannot do
yeah.
my job for me.
Right, right. That's awesome, man.
But moving averages and stuff like that, obviously, as an experienced trader, you kind of some of the basics, looking at the
Yeah,
charts like bull flag and stuff, like moving averages. You kind of like get the hang of those over time. So,
yeah. Kind of just
but flow,
fundamental.
yeah, fundamental analysis. But flow is like this is key. It's like that's what makes me pull the trigger.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's one of the things that is coming up repeatedly in this series is people have different ways of tracking when they know that whether there's a potential trade to come on, and but flow is the thing that tells them whether they're gonna pull the trigger or not. And a lot of times that keeps them out of their worst trades. Because
Yep.
they're like, ooh, this could be a trade, but I'm not seeing any flow there. I see no confirmation, so I'm not going to pull the trigger. And you take any trader, you remove 20%, 25% of their worst trades, they're probably going to be profitable, right? So,
Big time profitable. That's one of the mistakes I used to do back in the day. I used to average down. I don't average down no more.
mm,
I used to buy stocks on the downtrend. I don't buy stocks in the downtrend no more.
okay.
So that's some
How'd
of
you
the
get rid
things,
of that habit? Was that also
or
from that loss, that big loss, or how'd you stop
or
doing that?
just losing over time, losing money. It was not
Yeah,
working. So, and a lot
yeah,
of guys in the room say the same thing. Hey, Just don't train, don't buy down train. You can't. It's like you can't catch a falling knife because you don't know how deep it's gonna catch you.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. Like you said, it doesn't matter because it's 5% here, 5% there, 1% here, 10% there. Over time, you turn a losing trader into a winning trader. So you will eliminate some things with experience.
Yeah. 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 That makes sense. If you were talking to somebody who, has looked at other, maybe they're aware of flow, they're aware of unusual options activity, but they don't really, kind of understand what it's really all about or how it's going to help them. And what would you say to somebody? You're like at a bar in Chicago and they're like, "Oh, I'm a trader,"
Just sign up for Wall Street Jesus. You know, get in a room and learn. I guess they learn the hard way. And be patient and learn from the guys. But
Yeah.
definitely sign up for Wall Street Jesus.
Gotcha.
That's
Well, I promise I didn't pay you to say that. You just said
no,
that.
no, no, you didn't. Like I said, I've been around for a long time, so
Yeah.
you have to pay me
Yeah.
for many years. It'd be kind of
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah. Amazing, man. Well, I mean, I'm super grateful for, again, all the support you've shown us by being a part of the community for as long as you have, and getting to know so many people in the room, and yeah, just being such a big part of everything, man. I appreciate you coming on here and sharing some of your story. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Thank you for what you guys have done and so far. 'Cause I remember the early days was not easy.
No.
So yeah, but you guys come a long way, and thanks for setting this up for a lot of people, for them to have a
Yeah.
chance to make some extra money for their families, and, to get ahead in life. Because this is one of the skills, but it's worth learning.
Yeah.
It's one of
Yeah.
the hardest skills in life, but it's worth learning. And you guys made it so much easier for like regular people, to jump in and learn, trading, and like I said, provide for the families at the end of the day, and have a better life and travel and enjoy their lives and have more time to do what they love. That's what it's about in the end.
Yeah.
That's how it's helped me. So
Yeah. Super glad to hear that. That's gonna help me sleep tonight for sure. Hearing that soundbite replaying in my head. So, yeah, super appreciate you doing this and sharing some of your experience. To everybody who's watching, Arsen and a lot of guys like him who are experienced, successful traders are in the steam room every day. You can go in there and trade with them. You can start the trial over at wallstreetjesus.com, and you can go in there for $8. You can start that out for 2 weeks, and you can learn. Arsen, as he said, has been through a journey of learning a lot through experience, and a lot of reps and a lot of pain. And what we've tried to do with the complete flow traders, condense, that journey into as small of a period as possible, and try and give you, the hard hitting lessons as quickly as we can, as efficiently as we can. So if you're interested in learning, going deep and acquiring that skill set that Arsen's talking about, definitely go check out the complete flow trader over at wallstreetjesus.com. Classes start July 1st. You can save 20% off using that coupon that I mentioned at the outset of the conversation. No Flow 2024 will save you 20% off. So highly recommend you go check that out. Arsen, anything else you'd want to share with the people before we
make sure you guys just try it out, man. Just try out the trial. That's how you'll know if it's for you or not.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's one of the best skills you'll learn in your life, and we have a great community, so you'll learn and you'll be a better person the other day if you don't make any money. So it's still a plus.
Amen to that. Well said. Well, thank you for doing this again. Thanks for being such a big part of the community, and congrats on all your success, man. Hope for much more to come in the future with you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Talk to you soon.